Hey everybody, and welcome to another Cricut Craft tutorial. Before we get started, hit that big red subscribe button down below. That will make you part of my crafty family here on YouTube, and I would love to have you as part of my family. In today's video, I'm going to teach you guys how easy it is to wood burn with your Cricut. You don't need a lot of tools for this, which is great, and it's super easy. Now, I'm going to tell you, as you all know, I am not perfect. No one is, and that's okay. So we're going to have a little bit of a mess up on this project, but I wanted to leave it in there so that you guys could see what would happen if you didn't quite do it the right way. It still looks really cool, and I hope you guys will learn a lesson on how to use this product. We're going to use a wooden spatula that I got from Target, and then we are going to use our Scorch Marker Pro. This is an awesome tool, and it causes a chemical reaction with the wood to allow it to burn. And the only other thing that you're going to need is a heat gun. I've had a lot of people ask me if a blow dryer would work, and the answer is no. The blow dryer does not get hot enough to scorch the product, so you'll want to make sure that you are, in fact, using a heat gun. I'll link below the heat gun that I have. The first thing that we're going to do is head over to Design Space so that I can show you guys how to make the stencil. So let's get started. The first thing that we need to do is to unzip our design. So I've already got my folder pulled up. And what I'm going to do is click Extract All. And I'll link down below where I got my design from. I got it from Creative Fabrica. And don't forget that I do have a coupon code with them. It is Corinne30, so CORINNE30, and that will save you 30% on your membership for the life of your membership. It's a great membership. I use it all the time. So what I'm going to do is click Browse, and I'm going to put this into my food folder because this is a baking SVG, and I like to keep my stuff pretty organized. So I'm going to go ahead and select that folder and click Extract. Once it's done that, mine opens up my folder, and I love that it does that. It means I don't have to go searching for it. So what I'm going to do now is click Upload. I'm going to upload an image and click Browse. We're going to go into our food folder, and we're going to select this one right here that's a Microsoft Edge HTML document. That is actually an SVG. I do not have my computer set up with a standard SVG program right now, so it shows as an HTML document. So if you ever come across something like that, this is what it is. It's an HTML document. It may show as Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, Safari, Microsoft Edge, whatever internet browser you use. So we're going to go ahead and select that, and here is our SVG. Go ahead and click Save. Now I've already pre-measured the spoon that we are putting this on. So I have about 2.5 inches by 3.25 inches to work with. So what I'm going to do is size this down so I know that I can go about 2.5 inches wide. And it's going to be pretty tiny, so I don't know if I love that. We may do it the other direction, and I kind of think I might do it on the back of the spoon instead of the front of the spoon or the spatula, but actually, let's just do it this direction. That looks good. I think that'll work fine, so we'll do that. Now, for me, I like to make a box around stuff if I'm going to make a stencil. So the first thing I want to do, because of the way this is set up, I'm going to just go ahead and weld my design. That way it's all one piece. It's less for Design Space to think about. It's just easier. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a shape, and I'm going to make a square. All I want to do is send my square to the back and move it behind my design. I want to make my square a little bit bigger than the design that I have chosen. This is going to give me a little bit of a border for when we put the scorch marker on. It's going to give us a lot more option, and we're not going to have to worry so much around the edges. So once you've made your box, select both items and click Attach. What that's going to do is it's going to make it all one piece, but it's going to have the cut lines, so we're going to be able to weed this out really easily. Now go ahead and click Make It. We're just going to cut this on regular permanent vinyl. I'll just use whatever color I find, and we can go ahead and apply this to our spoon. Now it's time to weed your design. So when you're weeding, you're going to want to actually take out the letters and not the background, because you're using this like a stencil. So think about it, in any part that you want to be colored in, you're going to remove the stencil. Now there are quite a few little tiny parts in this, so you do want to take your time. I'm using a pin pen from 143 Vinyl, and I love this pin pen. I'll link it down below for you guys, and don't forget to use coupon code GET5 to save 5% with their website. I'm going to speed up the weeding so that you guys aren't sitting here staring at it, but this is a really easy project to do, and just take your time and you guys will have a lot of fun weeding this out. You'll see that I'm going to pull the background off as well, because remember we made that box to help us weed, and that is how we know where our stencil is. So I'm going to cut around it with an X-Acto knife, and it just makes it a lot easier when you go to put this on your project so that you have that border around it. Now you're going to need a little bit of transfer tape. This is just medium tack from 143 Vinyl. This stuff is super awesome. So all I'm going to do is lay my stencil down straight on top. And again, I'm just using permanent vinyl. You can use removable, you can use stencil vinyl for these if you would like to. It doesn't matter because it's not going to be on there long enough for it to stick. And remember, permanent isn't really permanent. It does come off. So what I'm going to do is just squeegee this down a little bit from the back. You don't have to do anything too crazy. And then all we're going to do is peel this off. Really, really simple. Now, I prepped this by sanding it just a little bit with a 220 grit. So all I'm going to do now is lay my stencil down, and I'm going to put it wherever I want it on here. You just want to make sure it's straight, or at least where you want it. You know, if you don't want it straight, then you don't want it straight. So what I'm going to do now is squeegee this down, and I want to make sure that this is down really, really well. You don't want any kind of bubbles on the edges of your letters or your designs or anywhere like that. So we're going to make sure that this is pressed down really, really well. And then you're going to carefully peel off your transfer tape. Now this part you do want to go slow. You want to make sure that everything is staying stuck down to your wood. And it's really easy. You can see I'm folding my transfer tape all the way over and pulling it back at a really sharp angle, all while watching and making sure that everything is staying stuck down. Perfect. So now what I'm going to do is just go over this with my fingers just to make sure I don't see any bubbles, which I don't. I think it looks really good. I'm going to hold it up to the light at kind of a couple angles just to check for any kind of lifting or bubbling around my design. I do not have any. So we're going to come in with our Scorch Marker Pro. This is such a cool tool. I absolutely love this. This has two tips. It has a bullet tip and then a foam brush. So we're going to use the bullet tip for this design. Now I've already primed my bullet tip, so it's already got the Scorch Marker compound on it. But to prime it, you just press it down on a piece of paper and it'll get all of the materials on it. So all you're going to do is color in your design, and I just want to make sure that I got some. And it doesn't take a lot of the liquid, so you really just color it in. I did get quite a bit on the G just because I needed to reprime. It's been a little while since I've used this. So you're just going to color in your design, and I'm taking some of the goo off the G just because there's quite a bit on there and moving it around. And you just want to make sure that you color everything in. So especially these really thin lines. But be careful while you're doing this because you don't want to lift the vinyl. So you take your time very carefully. Now that you've colored it all in, you want to really make sure that you're getting into all of those small crevices, so you just take your time. You can peel off your vinyl. Now you're going to see kind of a shadow where your scorch marker was. Now I put way too much on this G, so I'm actually going to come in before I fully take this off because I know it's going to run. And I'm going to dab a little bit of that off. The G may be a little funky when I go to do this because the G got a lot on it and I can see that it ran really bad in some spots because of that. But that's okay. Such is the nature of making crafts. So lesson to you, if you're making these, definitely be careful about putting too much product on because I definitely got way too much up here with the G and it's going to be blobby, which kind of stinks, but this is just, listen, nobody's perfect. You guys know, if you've watched my channel a lot, you know I like to show mistakes, and this is one of those, and it's okay. It's fine. No big deal. It'll be okay. So now all I'm going to do is go into my pin pen and take off all of the little pieces of vinyl. So it's basically just like weeding again. So let you guys watch me do that. Now for the fun part. So I have a Black & Decker heat gun. I got this off Amazon. I will link one down below. I don't know if they sell this one still, but I'm going to turn it on to the high heat. I have this sitting on a silicone baking mat to help protect my surface from heat. The silicone baking mat is great because it can withstand the heat. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is turn my heat gun on. It's loud, so I won't be able to talk through this part, but you'll see the magic happen. Here it is, all done. So again, I know it's not perfect, but I also wanted to show you guys, like, mistakes happen, and that's okay. It still looks really cool, but definitely want to make sure that you're not using a ton of the product. I had way too much on the G, which made it kind of splotch, and then it was too splotchy on the stars on the top. But if you look, these bottom stars came out great. The word happy is fantastic, and all the spots that I used a lot less product are great. This is such an easy and fun craft. Anybody can do it. You just need the scorch marker, a heat gun, and some wood, and you can have a great time making all sorts of things. What I love about this is now dishwasher safe. You can cook with it. You can do pretty much anything with it. Definitely make sure you give it a thorough wash before you use it, but now you can use it for anything, which is great. Unlike if you were to decorate with vinyl. Decorating with vinyl, you can't really cook with it. You can't put it in the dishwasher, but this is a completely usable product. So I'm really excited, and I hope you guys had so much fun learning how to use the scorch marker. If you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. I'm always happy to answer those for you. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos on Wednesdays and Saturdays. I hope you all have a wonderful day and happy crafting.